BSG drops a huge update, but it's definitely not the one we are expecting, and it's definitely made the community polarized on whether or not they like the changes that they made. Let's go ahead and talk about it here on the Scav Report. So what's really going on here with BSG? What changes do they make, and why? Why is the community so separated? We're going to get into it here on the Scav Report. And I want to say, if you would like to get more in depth on this topic, please check out the Scav Report podcast. It comes out every Sunday. There's going to be a new episode getting you ready for that Monday morning drive into work. So what changed today that has Twitter blowing up? And I mean, I woke up this morning and it was already going. So what we got here is some technical client updates. This is the normal updates that we get, that they fix some things. So let's go over these fixes real quick before we get into the meat and potatoes of what really have people up in arms. So we fixed some things like scavs, raiders, and rogues are no longer aggressive to a player. Player scavs if they kill a PMC. This has been there for a while. I'm glad they fixed it. Animations, rain animations breaching into buildings. They fixed that. That's been out there for a little bit. One of the possible reasons for missing visual and sound effects for grenades explosions. This is really good because sometimes you don't even know if your grenade blew up. You can't hear it. Fix the behavior of raiders when one of them is killed by a player. Don't know really what this means, but I guess there's something going on there. Fix Rashala's logic of medical usage. That needed to happen. Fix the reaction of bots to smoke grenades. They used to just go crazy with smoke grenades running in all different directions. Fix the incorrect display of adjustment magnification while using the Schmittenbender PM2 3 to 12 by 50. I don't use that scope. Didn't know there was an issue, but it looks like we got it now. Fix the unnatural hand positioning during the animation of reloading with the MP443 Grotch, which, yeah, they needed to do that. It looked kind of weird, like the wrist was cocked in a weird direction when they did that. Scavs and raiders and rogues will no longer take positions close to players when engaging them. This was kind of a thing where they would just kind of crouch in a corner or sit next to you right outside of a box. They just get really close and then just kind of stop and pat there. Fix animation freezes of a character when loading into the raid screen on character page and the Ragman's service tab, and the statistics page after the raid when Choppa Rhino is equipped. I don't use the Choppa Rhino, didn't know there was a problem, but that was fixed. And fix the significant damage reduction when shooting through Terra Group tarps. Rangard proved this. You shot through different tarps, basically on any map. I think of customs. You can think of customs or factory. That's kind of where you'd have those tarps set up, and if you shot through them, it was like 70% bullet reduction. So those are the technical updates that we got today. Let's talk about the surprise update that we got today, and let's go ahead and look at the post that was in the wiki, the Discord. It's kind of all over the place. So what is going on here? And this change is intended to combat RMT. And if you don't know what RMT is, that's real money trade, where hackers, cheaters will come into the game. They'll try to wipe the raid to get rubles, gear, really rare items, and they will sell them to people for real money outside of it. It's a huge thing. Any game that has a economy based around any items or a virtual currency has this problem. I'm a longtime World of Warcraft player, and this has been rampant in World of Warcraft since the day it started. Farming, boosting, all of those things have happened. And in Tarkov, it seems to be a much bigger problem than I thought they had. So what's going to happen is some items without the found in raid status will be destroyed if a player tries to discard it from their inventory and ignores the warning. A player places it in their backpack pockets or chest rig and gets killed by another player or tries to drop any container, backpack / chest rig containing the limited item. If a player dies, the limited items in their secure container will not be destroyed. This change will be applied to the following items: money, all barter items with some permissions below. So there's some barter items that won't. Keys and key cards, containers, specific armbands, info items. If you don't know what an info item is, diaries, SSDs, things like that. And specific melee weapons. The Taiga, Red Rebel, Miller Blood's M2 tactical sword, and the Kiba Arms tactical tomahawk. The items that can be discarded in limited quantity would be rubles, so 20,000, golden neck chain, 3 pieces, gunpowder kite, 3 pieces, tool set, 2 pieces, Submariner watch, the roller, 1 piece, paracord, 1 piece, silicon tube, 1 piece, and injectors, 1 piece of each type. These items can be discarded within the specific quantity after exceeding which they will be destroyed. So if you exceed that limited quantity, they're going to be destroyed. So let's kind of backtrack and explain what this means. So what this means is if you go into raid with a LEDX, you went into a raid, you got it, you came out of the raid. It no longer has in-raid status because you're going back into the raid and losing your in-raid status. If I wanted to give that LEDX to somebody and I went to drop it, it would be destroyed. I'm going to get this pop-up message. This is what's new to the game. This accounts for keys. So I went in and I tried it with the machinery key. I have 2 machinery keys. I want to give one to a friend. So I tried to drop it. Here's what happened. Attention. Next items will be lost. Deleted. Irrevocably lost. Gone. Off the server. Machinery key. It won't drop. It's going to get deleted. Now, this is to try to combat people doing real money trading. They go in and say, hey, here's $10. Give me 10 graphics cards. So cheater goes in the raid. They start running all the raids. They get 10 graphics cards. They bring the person in. They drop them on the ground. They pick them up. They get out of raid. Most of this stuff I thought was going to be going through the market anyway. And then you saw the decrease in the market down to only 2 items can be posted at a time. I think that was also to try to combat real money trading. I don't know where I stand on this yet, on whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing. I lean towards this being a band-aid for a much larger problem with real money trading. And even games such as World of Warcraft that have been around forever still have this issue. And one of the ways they combated it was by building their own in-game currency that you could buy from them. So you can buy a token and buy gold directly from Blizzard. I can't stop the gold farmers, so we'll become a gold farmer. Change their economy around, but that's how they decided to handle some of that. So the way I look at it is if BSG is looking at their statistics of cheaters and they are noticing that the bulk, more than 60%, more than 50% of their cheating is all around real money trading, this might knock off a few of them. But I think it's going to cause a bigger problem, which is in-game raid boosting. So if they can't just come in on their own, wipe the raid, what you're going to get is more people coming in and bringing people in, and they're going to have to run more of these more often. They're going to come in and they're going to continue to use their cheats, aimbots, wall hacks, things some of the hacks where you can see into the containers of what's inside of them. And they're going to just wipe the raid for people and say, here's all the stuff that you can go ahead and get. They'll pick it up and give it to them in that raid. And you're going to see a lot more of that. Now, I don't know if that's easier for BSG to ban someone with when they're doing it in that fashion. They might be able to notice that differently. Their antivirus might work in order to catch those kind of players faster. I'm not sure. But I do know this is affecting the way you can interact with your community. And Nikita has said multiple times he wants more community events, but he's removing our ability to be able to interact with some of them. So if I have some friends that want to run labs, but they don't have labs keys, I can't drop it to them. If I find a second red card and I want to give it to my buddy, be like, oh, I found another red card. This is awesome. Here you go. I know you've been looking for it. I can't do that. As a streamer, I can't give away sick cases. I can't give away things to my viewers because I'm not able to drop it to them. So are we punishing the masses to not be able to interact the same way? And yeah, you can say, how often do you really do it? They should be finding it in a raid. They should be all those things. But again, you're removing a mechanic of the game that allows you to play as a community. I have a friend. He's a low-level guy. He needs a couple of soaps. I've got him in my inventory box. I can bring it to him in order to work on his hideout. I can't do that anymore. So how do we do this? What do we do? I don't really know. I think it's testing. We're right before a wipe. This one of my buddies that I was talking to this about, James, who's on the podcast, made a good point. This might be the best time for BSG to test something like this right before they wipe, because we're going to reset it anyway. So let's make this drastic change to the way in-game items work. And we're just going to wipe in. And then when we wipe, we can make the changes and really fine tune it. And I think that's what needs to happen. I don't think it needs to be every barter item. I mean, I can't drop a hard drive. Like, are we really saying that hard drives are the things that people are really going after in these? I'm not sure there. So I think we need to fine tune what we're looking at and get community feedback that's constructive. The community is not constructive right now. It's, I hate it, it's a terrible thing, or it's someone saying, I hate you, this is a great thing, we're getting rid of cheaters. I don't know. I want BSG to be transparent about this. Tell me how many people you think you have cheating because of RMT. Put this change out there and tell me how many people you think you have after 3 weeks. If it has significantly gone down and my raids feel much cleaner, okay, you might be onto something. Still don't think it's the end-all be-all solution, but the data is telling me things are getting better. But if you keep this data locked up and you don't tell me if it's doing something good or bad, I don't know if I like the change personally. Now I'm going to think about it more. We're going to talk about it. We're definitely going to have a podcast on this. So please, the Scav Report podcast, we try to put out an episode a week. Go ahead on any of the platforms that you subscribe to. You can subscribe to podcasts on Apple, Spotify, Google Music, Stitcher, any of those. We're on all of them. Subscribe and listen to a more in-depth talk about how James, the JT3 gamer, feels about it, how I feel about it. And we also might bring our friend Master in on that one, I'm not sure, to talk about this change. This has been the Scav Report. A really hot thing going on. I'm going to come back to this in a couple of weeks just to see where we're at on it. Thank you guys for listening and tuning in. This has been the Scav Report. I'm out. Peace.